Well, you were actually portrayed in the movie Goodfellas, one of the iconic films of our lifetime. Ray Liotta just passed, who played Henry Hill. Did you ever know Ray Liotta at all?
I met him once briefly, so no, I don't know him, but I know people that knew him fairly well and always had nice things to say about him. And my first introduction to Ray Liotta was in the movie Goodfellas. And at first, when I saw it, I said, no, he doesn't fit the part, because I knew Henry Hill really well. Okay. And he did not portray Henry as Henry really was. He made him look a lot better. I mean, Henry never looked so good as Ray Liotta made him look. But then as I got into the movie, started to forget Henry and just concentrate on Ray, he was terrific. He played a great part.
So Henry Hill, what crew was he with?
He was with Paulie Vario, Lucchese's.
Lucchese.
Yeah.
Lucchese Mafia. And he eventually ended up working with the feds.
Yes.
Were you around when he ended up turning?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I met Henry early on when he was doing the Boston scandal, with the, I forget the guy's name, the college, Boston College. But he was giving me some inside information. So I made some money with him because he used to hang out in Long Island also. And then, yeah, when that whole thing happened, we happened to have the same prosecutor, Ed McDonald, who flipped Henry, was my prosecutor in the Eastern District. So, but yeah, I mean, I knew Henry. I knew Jimmy Burke very well. Paulie Vario I knew well. So I knew all those guys. That's why they put me in Goodfellas. It wasn't my crew. I had nothing really to do with them business-wise. But I asked Pileggi later on, I says, why did you put me in there? He said, well, Mike, you had name value. You knew people, so we just threw your name in there.
Okay. I mean, when he flipped and started working with the feds, how much damage did that create?
Well, a lot. I mean, I don't know if everything Henry said was, on point. I don't know how involved he really was. I'll be honest with you, Val. I don't think he could have been that involved because Henry, he was an alcoholic. He had a drug problem from early on. I'll tell you one incident. I was in a club out in Long Island. I walked into the restroom and I saw 4 feet in one of the stalls. Now, you didn't see that back then, right? I said, what's going on here? So I kicked open the door and it was Henry Hill and my brother. My brother had a drug problem. They were doing coke. So I pulled him out and, and got upset with my brother. But I told Henry, the word was out. I said, Henry, the word is out on you. If Paulie knows this is going on, you're going to get killed. Now, I'm not going to tell him, but I don't want to see you in this place ever again, and I want to see you next to my brother. And that was an encounter I had when he left, and that was it. So he had a drug problem. I don't think he was as involved as they claim he was.
Well, yeah. I mean, he testified against everyone, and they put him in the witness protection program, but then he got kicked out of the program, essentially.
Yeah. Another incident, I've mentioned this before, I was in Terminal Island when I was doing my time. And Henry was obviously on separation. He was in jail at that time. And, they separate him from other people, but they put him in Terminal Island by mistake. And I noticed him coming out of the cafeteria. And he PC'd up at that point because the lieutenant called me in. He must have seen me and got nervous because, he should have. And then they shipped him out. But it was a mistake by the Bureau of Prisons.
I mean, how often do people who cooperate end up getting killed by the mafia? I mean, it happened with Whitey Bulger, of course. Mm-hmm. You know about that, and that's very high profile.
Yes.
But as a whole, how often does it actually happen?
Well, I don't know of anybody, I never heard of anybody that went into the program that ever got killed afterwards.
You mean witness protection?
Witness protection program, yeah.
I mean, not everyone goes into witness protection.
No. Well, listen, Vlad, if you're suspected of being an informant on the street, you're going to go. I mean, there's no question. So if you don't get to the point where you're already cooperating and already protected by the government and we find out about it, you're going to go, no doubt.
How many people do you know outside of Whitey Bulger who actually got killed after they took the stand and basically told on a bunch of people?
After they took the stand, I can't think of anybody. One guy that we found out was an informant and got killed before was Willie Boy Johnson. He was in Gotti's crew, somebody that I worked with. I was shy like a money with him. But I don't know of anybody that took the stand and then got killed afterwards. At least it doesn't come to, my mind right away.
Is it because it's more high profile and they feel like the feds are watching them. Because, I mean, I don't think the feds, if you're not in witness protection, I don't care. Doesn't seem like the feds really give a shit what happens to you after that, do they?
No, they don't care. Yeah. But normally if you take the stand, you're in WITSEC. They're protecting you. So nothing's going to happen at that point.
Yeah, well, but then a lot of people leave witness protection.
They do, but they don't come back to New York, and they don't hang out here, I mean, hang out where they shouldn't hang out. But, I'm going to be honest with you too. Now there's some guys on the street that I know are in the witness protection program that are living in New York, and I'm kind of scratching my head. But I'll tell you this, back in the 70s and 80s during my time, they wouldn't be walking around, no doubt. So there's been some changes in that life for sure.